once said, dare ancora un persona un pesce e mangia per un dia. Insegnare a pescare e mangia per tutta la vita. You know what I just said to that? ¿Qué? No, seriously, folks. It means give someone a fish and he eats for a day. Teach someone to fish and he eats for the rest of his life. See, today I'm going to be talking to you, as you can see, about reels, fishing reels, and what you need to know about purchasing one. It's similar to what you do when you go purchase a car. You know, before you purchase a car, you have all these things in your heart, or all these features that you want in a vehicle. Let's say fuel economy, nice leather seats, a real nice navigation system. Well, it's similar with rods and with reels. They come in different shapes and sizes. And when you buy a car, the next thing you want to do is you want to go to the dealership and you want to get behind the wheel. You want to drive it. You want to look under the hood. You want to see the engine. Or you want to do something like I would do. Go up there and just kick the tire. But reels are different in that same way. They have different features. They have small reels. Ta-da. And they have large reels. Now, each of these reels I'm going to talk about are different in that manner. This is what they call a spinning reel. And as you can see, it's small in size and has a small line capacity. It probably can hold anywhere from a 4-pound to 8-pound test line and about 100 yards. Whereas something larger, like this, can probably hold anywhere between 10 to 20-pound test line and about 250 yards. So as you can see, there are many different types and different styles. The other thing I want to talk about on these spinning reels is it has an open case design. And it also has what they call a spool. And the spool can also vary in size from short to tall. And that really makes a difference because, as I will show you, the taller spools have with a better casting distance. And I'm going to go ahead and show you an example of what happens when you have a reel that has a bigger spool. Let's say this is your fishing rod. And on there you have what they call eyes. And that line goes through these eyes. As you can see, as the line comes off the reel, it has to go through these holes. Now what happened if the top of the spool was larger? What would happen with that line? The angle of that line gets wider and causes friction as it goes through the fishing eyes. That causes friction, which allows the casting to be shorter distance. Okay? So that's one thing you need to be aware of. Whether you're fishing shoreline, or you're fishing off a pier, or even fishing off a boat. Distance of where you're casting makes a difference. Another thing to know about these reels is the gear ratio. Each different reel has a different gear ratio. And all that means is that number of times of revolutions this goes around per one turn of the reel. Okay? Some of them have 4-to-1, 3-to-1, or 2-to-1 ratios. The other thing I want to talk about is ball bearings. Each casing of these spinning wheels have ball bearings inside. The more the ball bearings, the more smoother the reeling, and the more durable it will hold up under pressure. The other thing, next reel I really want to talk about is what they call a bait casting reel. Now the bait casting reel is not for beginners. I don't really recommend it for beginners. It's more of a closed design. And on this one here, the actual spool itself actually turns. Where on those, it's not the spool that turns, but what they call the bail that turns and brings the line onto the reel. You'll see many freshwater fishermen fishing with this type of reel because it's more for artificial lures. The real difficulty in fishing with this type of reel is that there's something that's called backlash. Now, it's something that you don't want to do with a fishing reel. And with this one here, you have to keep your thumb actually on the spool line as you're casting. If you don't, you will receive what they call a backlash, where the line backs up into the reel and causes nothing but mayhem, okay? So that is basically your bait casting reel. I don't highly recommend it because it is more for the more experienced user, and it's very hard to cast accurately until you really get it down right. The next reel I want to talk about is what you call the deep sea reel. Aha! Many of you guys have seen this if you've gone deep sea fishing or chartered on a chartered fishing boat. It's one of those reels that basically are made to handle the big fish, okay? Basically, there's no really casting with this type of reel. It's just fishing, dropping it down, and being able to pull up that fish all the way up to the surface. It has the strength. As you can see, the spool on this one is very large. It can handle probably 50, 60, 80-pound test line and about 500 yards. So this one here is basically for the big boys. And here's definitely another picture of a more advanced model that has a bunch of different gear settings and stuff like that. Actually, this is a two-speed gear ratio. Remember how I talked to you 4-to-1 and 2-to-1? Well, when you're fighting that big fish, you want to be able to switch to a low gear ratio so you can fight that fish better. Okay, you know, when I talk to people about my fishing experiences, I hear some people say, fishing's not for me, or I don't eat fish, or I don't like fish. I tell people, you know, fishing is a sport. You know, over 50% of all anglers, they practice what they call catch and release. Okay? Someone actually came up to me the other day and said, "Ooh, I don't want to kill those little fish." Well, you know what? You don't have to. Fishing is what they call a sport. So, in closing, what I just want to say is when you make a decision to purchase a reel, take all this into consideration. And then take your son, your daughter, even your spouse, out fishing and tell them fishing is a real sport. Thank you very much.
That's a good job.
Are you convinced?
Yes.
We'll find out when we do the voting.
Thank you.
At the end of the meeting. Can I have 1 minute? Dr. Kim, you can just raise your hand or something. You don't have to use the lights.
Excellent.
My next winner, by the way, everyone please write a note for Joe, something you liked, something you think you could have improved on, something else that you really enjoyed. The next winner is the best biography. And this year I finished one by Tina Fey. It was an autobiography, which was really fantastic. And one on
Bossy
Colin
Pants.
Powell. And I think maybe one other one. But the best one I picked was on Robert Oppenheimer, called American Prometheus, The Triumph and Tragedy of J. Robert Oppenheimer, by Kai Bird and Martin Schrein. And this is a Pulitzer Prize winning book.
Wow.
By the way, not all these books were written in 2011, but I just finished them. And the author describes the amazing life and tragedy of Oppie, as we like to call him, now that we know each other so well. So this book is very well written. It's written like a story. You get to know him very well. But you also get to see his amazing leadership during the Manhattan Project. It's really fascinating. I wrote a whole article on it, and I think I've probably talked to you guys about that before. And I'll go into one more. The best science fiction, and you get to read as much science fiction as you usually do. And so I picked Makers by Cory Doctorow, which is covering the near future of 3D printers and the impact it will have on our lives when we can print pretty much anything food, computers, and glasses. What will our lives be like when we can print anything we want? Is my 1 minute up?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
It just got up though.
Thank you very much. Ramesh is going to be our next speaker tonight. And Ramesh is, or today.
Whoa.
Hello, media.
Gee, time got away from us there.
Time is right now.
We're out of
He's
time.
going to explain the crisis that we are in. There's a lot of crisis stuff going on today.
Go fishing while you can.
I don't know. Yes, thank you. And he's going
Jason,
to
could
persuade
you
and
put the
inspire us
laptop cover just down?
for
Just
the
flip it.
future. Saving America.
No, laptop, yes.
So
Perfect.
please welcome Ramesh.
Dear Toastmasters.